Hi there, and let's get to it. Now, the next workflow is a little bit more complicated because in this scenario, we're working with heavy footage that was captured using a format that is not very easy to transcode into. For this, I'm going to borrow the Avanetics company footage supplied by Mr. Derek Cooper, and I'm going to go into this sequence of 7 clips, and here the file format is MXF. So we're going to launch Media Encoder, say add, and include all of these clips. For a bit of diversity, instead of MP4 this time I'm going to go for an MOV compression, and I'm also going to use H.264 as a codec and 1920 by 1080 as our resolution, making sure to check my source metadata and ensure I'm replicating this inside of my output. I don't want the quality to be at 100 because we're less fixated on quality with this. And on top of that, I might want to limit the data rate to something fairly low. So we'll end up with very small file sizes at the end of this. And that's it. I'm going to say OK. Even though the container name is about to change, I still want to make sure that the file names themselves remain identical. So I'm also going to click on this and make sure this is going into a good home. And click the play button to commence with transcoding. Alright, so that's all of our compression done. I can now go find this footage on my machine, which should have ended up in my Documents folder under Transcode MOV. And when I select and click through this, I can reveal that the quality has remained really quite good, so it's definitely good enough to edit with. I'm going to make a new bin, and this will be MXF to MOV, and the MOV files go in. Once again, I'm going to demonstrate a practical workflow, so in this case I'm going to select all the files, create a timeline using these clips, MOV edit. I can also select all of these and take care of the rotational angle. I don't know if you've noticed, but these clips have been upside down this whole time. And once I click off, I've revealed that all of my clips have been fixed. And it scrubs through really, really quickly, which is why we're doing this in the first place. It's really immediate, fast playback. I'm going to go back to my media page, and I no longer have the luxury of just right-clicking and changing my source folder, because if I do that, it's going to be looking for clips with identical names. And it's not going to find them because those clips have MXF extensions. And because of this, my entire timeline is going to fail. I'm going to Command-Z to undo this and bring back my MOVs. And this time I'm going to begin by exporting an edit decision list in the XML format. I'm going to send this back to my MOV folder and click Save. Now we want to go back into our media page, and you're going to have to delete everything. So that's your media and the timeline itself. If you're not too comfortable doing this, I would recommend making a duplicate of this project file that you're working with. So instead of wiping all of that clean, you can say File, Save As, and then give it a slightly different name, maybe referring to the fact that you're working with the original media in this new version. But the fact of the matter is, we're not going to need this when we're trying to reconnect, because we're going to go back to the original media, select it, and drop it into the media pool. So this is the MXF MP4 materials. I can now go into my edit page, and here I would like to import the XML that we just generated. So we're going to get our edit back onto the timeline. But the key thing to do here is to make sure that you ignore your file extensions when matching. So this is why I made a point of keeping your file names exactly the same. Definitely don't rename them or try to organize them in that way. But because we're going to be ignoring the file extensions, we can now very easily switch from those that are going to show up in our XML file and replace them with the MXFs that we've just imported. So I'm going to click OK. And it's asking us to indicate where the source clips are contained, and we'll just direct it to the same folder that's got the media that we just imported into our media pool. And voila! We now have a reconnection. And it's maintained the edit that I put down, and it's maintained the transform controls that I applied, so I know it's all good. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.